Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Sack Talk. Today I will talk about Clementine's personality in the movie Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, and the reason why I believe she has borderline personality disorder. So let's get into it. First of all, what is borderline personality disorder? So it is a mental health condition that is marked by intense and unstable emotions, distorted self-image, fear of abandonment, unstable relationships, impulsivity like reckless spending, substance abuse, or unsafe sex, chronic feelings of emptiness, inappropriate or intense anger, dissociation or paranoia under stress, and sometimes self harm or suicidal behaviors. And to be diagnosed, a person must meet at least 5 out of the 9 criteria. So, why do I think Clementine in the movie Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind has borderline personality disorder? Well, one of the first things I have noticed is that she doesn't have a stable sense of identity. She's trying to find an identity by doing different things. For example, changing her hair color. She goes from red to orange to blue to green. And interestingly enough, she even said, I apply my personality in a paste, which means that she uses her constantly changing her color to express her emotions and sense of identity. So instead of having a stable idea of who she is, she relies on her appearance, like her hair, to show basically what she's feeling in the moment. And again, one of the hallmarks of borderline personality disorder is the fact that they lack a sense of identity. And so that was one of the things that I've noticed at first. We also see a lot of impulsivity. So she's very spontaneous to the point of self-sabotage. She drinks heavily, makes sudden decisions like pretty much erasing Joel from her memory. And even Joel describes her as impulsive, and he also admits that he's drawn to that energy, but also feels overwhelmed by it. And again, impulsivity in BPD can look like risky sex, binge drinking, spending a lot of money, or emotional outbursts. And Clementine displays several of these in the film. And she's also, or better, she gets triggered very easily. And that's also a sign of impulsivity. And as we can see, she changes her emotional state very frequently throughout a day. And so it's very hard to deal with her. Or better, it's very hard to deal with her emotional and mood changes because they're very, very frequent. Another key point of her personality is that we can notice that she has actually fear of abandonment. So there is a moment when Clementine says to Joel, I will get bored with you and feel trapped. That's what happens with me. And basically, this is a preemptive fear that she will ruin things before they even begin. Another characteristic that we see in her is that she idolizes Joel. For example, one day she idolizes him, and then out of a sudden she feels disgusted by him. And so this is called splitting, where one day she thinks, oh, he's perfect, I love him, and then the other day she thinks, no, like I can't stand that person. And throughout the movie we can see how she actually struggles a lot with her identity. She struggles a lot with her own emotions. She's very confused. She just doesn't understand why she feels one way a moment and then another moment she feels completely different. And it's very hard to watch the movie because you can see how lonely and empty she feels and how she's trying in many different ways to fill the void that she has constantly. For example, the drinking, the impulsivity, then erasing Joel's from her memory. She's really trying to understand why she can never feel stable, or maybe why relationships in her life never seem to end well. So again, when you watch the movie, you can see how chaotic and charming and full of contradictions she is. And we see a lot of identity disturbance, fear of abandonment, impulsivity, intense and unstable relationships, which are all hallmarks of borderline personality disorder. And so maybe for many people living with BPD, her behavior may resonate a lot. And it's kind of rare to see mental health struggles being portrayed with this much nuance without turning the character into like a villain or a punchline. And I really like the accuracy of the character, actually. And so if you see yourself in Clementine, the emotional intensity, the craving for connection, please leave a comment and share what you think. And if you have not already done so, please subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you.